I've been reading a history book to figure out where to go for my vacation. History book, really? Sure, because I got a time machine. Today, I've decided to go back to the 17th century. Why the 17th century? The plague, the warfare, the dentistry? I'll tell you when we get there. As a big clue is it has something to do with climate change. This is one of my favorite periods. Let's go! Whoa! 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 It's the 17th century. I'm planning on visiting Isaac Newton to give him some ideas about gravity, and the Netherlands, hoping to pick up some cheap Rembrandt. But I'll tell you something, I brought the wrong clothes. It's freezing here. Ooh. You can tell it's cold from the foggy breath. What's over there? It's King Charles X of Sweden. Just my luck, I've landed in 1658 in the middle of a battle. What's about to happen, believe it or not, is that the Swedish army, about 7,000 infantry and 3,000 cavalry, are about to charge across the Baltic Sea to attack the Danes. Much across the sea? Yes, because it's frozen. The ice is so thick that it can take the weight of all Swedish king's men and horses. More than 5 million kilos. That's as heavy as 170,000 IKEA bookcases. Huh? How crazy is that? I'll tell you what else is crazy right now. The price of Dutch art. I'm in Amsterdam. It's great to have a time machine because I can pick up some bargains. But walking around this studio, I can't help noticing something. Here's the Dutch painter Peter Bruegel, Hunter in the Snow. The clue is in the title. Here's his winter landscape with ice skating and bird trap. All of it cold, but I like something warmer, like the biblical scene in the Middle East. That should look nice and toasty. Oh, here's the Massacre of the Innocent, King Herod and all that. And they're still snowing. This is the census of the Bethlehem. No way! Here's the adoration of the Magi, and it's snowing again. Either that, or they've run out of paint. You get the point, it's really cold. Cold enough for the painters to imagine baby Jesus in alpaca. In fact, I'm in the middle of a cold period that, according to some studies, is the coldest in the last 10,000 years. In 1939, the geologists named this period the Little Ice Age. And that's very bad news because Willies hate the cold. There's plenty of written evidence from Europe telling us just how cold it is in the Little Ice Age. Iceland's northernmost glacier, Drangajorður, grew to a record size. The sea ice, which surrounds Iceland, extends many miles every direction, cutting off its harbor. During the Little Ice Age, the Thames in London froze and fairs were held on the ice. In Switzerland, tales were told of whole towns swallowed by advancing glaciers. It was said to be a divine punishment for the citizens' sinful ways. Sound familiar? And it wasn't just Europe, it was all over the world. Japan got so cold there are records of people being forced to eat tough and inedible horse chestnut simply to stay alive, as so many crops were failing. Why does this matter today? I'll tell you why. People say that recent humans have caused temperatures to rise steeply. That is not true. They have been rising naturally and gently for hundreds of years, long before we had Chevy Silverados and pickups. Do you want to see a Willie graph? Of course you do. Here's a Central England temperature record. It is the longest instrumental temperature record in the world. It shows about the gradual increase in temperature since about 1650s. Here are two things I want you to notice. First, temperature haven't recovered very much. We're still just about 1 degree Celsius warmer than the Little Ice Age. That's not very much. And second, this long, slow recovery from the Little Ice Age began way before industry started producing any CO2. No way can CO2 have caused this. I love the Little Ice Age. Oh, do you want to see another Willie graph? Of course you do. This one shows temperature change. Look, here's the recovery from the Little Ice Age. What a relief. You can see the rise. That's what they want you to worry about. Now let's zoom out and see in the context of what went before. Wow, look at this. Temperature is changing all the time, naturally, all by itself. Here's the Little Ice Age with all the Rembrandts and stuff. But look what happened before the Little Ice Age. It was warmer than today. It's perfectly clear from this. There's nothing exceptional or unusual about the current temperature. I love graph. Time for me to get back to 21st century. At least it'll be warmer. Woo! Time travel is a dangerous thing because it can undermine most of what you've been told by the climate scam industry. They're talking out of their ash time. That's the Dutch painter Bartholomew Echstein. He was full of I am Dr. Willie Soon, and this is Gorilla Science. What do you think of that? Let me know in a comment. Subscribe to Gorilla Science now, and please donate to help buy more coal for my time machine. Every lump means an extra jump.